What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Daily Misfire. Today is going to be a somber day. We're going to be starting on a process, and we're going to start with a little bit of discovery right now. So if you haven't watched any of my recent videos or some of my recent shorts, I'll show you right now. So the Nova has been having a little bit of like ignition, wiring gremlins and things like that. I think I figured all those things out, and I went to test drive the car the other day. And I discovered a little issue. I don't know how well you can. The entire window, let me. Is moving about a quarter inch, eighth of an inch, all the way down. So I think the butyl tape, or whatever you want to call it, mixed with a combination of that and rust, like the butyl tape finally giving away and rust getting in there, has given us some issues. So we're going to go on a little fact-finding discovery mission right now, and we're going to take the trim off, and we're going to get underneath, and we're going to see what it all looks like underneath the trim, and see how bad the rust is. And we have to address that before we can do much else, because right now the car needs to be done by October which it's April. I think I can get it done by then, but we haven't done a whole lot of metal fixing like that recently, so this will be, you know, trial by fire kind of thing. So before we get too far into the worriness of how bad it might be, let's get that trim piece off and get kind of a look at how bad it looks, and then I'll need help with someone else, a couple other people probably, to get the rear glass out of the car over the next couple days. That way we can really see what it looks like. So I'm gonna grab my plastic cutlery attackware, and we're gonna put you guys on a hyperlapse real quick, and we'll get into it. I will also note, because there's a lot of people have said it, some of my friends and everyone have been like, I'm surprised that car has rust back there. So if you don't know the backstory of the car, this is the original paint, this is the original everything on this car. It was a totally rust-free California car, except for the back window. The lady that we got it from, so we are the second owners of this car, the lady we got it from, she parked it in basically at a carport by her little house. And so stuff could have gotten in the back window, and we all know no matter how well you clean it, stuff will still get back in here, and I'm sure there's still stuff back in here. As soon as we start taking this all out, you'll see some stuff in that back window. So the rest of the car is totally solid, uptight, ready to rock and roll. There's some little surface rust and little spots you're starting to see. There's a little like waif right here. There's some stuff right over here. The roof's starting to get a few little chips and checks and stuff in it, but for the most part the body is solid. It's just a lot of really tiny little things, and the back window now. So yep, I just wanted to give that little disclaimer, because there's gonna be some people out there and be like, it's a California car though, I thought those were rust free. It is, except for when it's left out in the rain for the days it did rain, and for over 50 years of love 60 years or whatever it's been at this point. So the part that was really concerning, the part that necessarily is the quote-unquote part that was rusting the most, it seems that you can see all that silicone right in there. Now, we did a thing back when I was... Okay, so we did a thing, I think it was back 2016, I think is what it was, which that's almost 10 years ago now. We were going on a trip to Oregon with my car and my mom's Cougar. Before I did YouTube stuff and all this craziness, we took a road trip with my car and her car. And before we did that, this back window leaked, and we had the intention that we were going to do rust repair and fix everything. So before we went, though, we siliconed in the window because it was supposed to be raining a lot. And so you see all this silicone in here. Well, that's what that's from. So there's some silicone from that, as well as there's the butyl tape, whatever you want to pronounce it. This stuff right here, so it's a mixture of both. And you can see there's rust getting in on the inside, where it's been leaking and lifting my package tray. You can see where there's been rust getting in underneath the window. So I'm gonna have to get all of this silicone out of there now. And so we can actually really see what's going on. You can see kind of right in here where the actual tape is, or where the actual seal that the factory used, and then there's like where we added stuff. So I mean, on the surface, before you start getting into like where the seam itself is, it doesn't actually look bad. Once we get underneath the sealer, though, is kind of when we're gonna see any kind of big issues. But I mean, on the surface, you don't see any big holes. There's nothing super bad or scary. The big thing, I think, is there a spot for me to get into? Yeah. I kind of think the tape just let go. It's kind of what it looks like, doesn't it? I'm not going to do anything more because I don't want to crack the window. I don't want to do any of that. I'm going to get all of this out and basically let gravity hold the back glass in until I have someone else that can help grab it and we can like walk it away so we can actually see what's back here. Maybe this is time for me to like mess with the inside, those two little wings that are on the back or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to dig in this a little bit and let's see what's under here. There's some holes. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's some pretty decent little rust in that gap right there, and I think it's probably getting to the point to where I probably have to take the headliner out of the car too, or at least try to peel this guy back on the inside, which probably means the back seat needs to come out, the package tray needs to come out. Well, maybe not the back seat, but the package tray definitely needs to come out. Probably the top of the back seat needs to come out. So, yay! I'm gonna go drink. I'm kidding. I'm gonna probably try to peel out a little bit more of that stuff tonight, and then see kind of what we have, and I might recruit my wife to come out and help me put 1,000 blankets to the back of the car and try to see if we can peel the back window out of the car. We need to get a little bit more of the sealant and the gasket and stuff out. But yeah, that is the Band-Aid fix. That shouldn't have been a Band-Aid fix. It should have been, you know, fixed a long time ago, and it wasn't. So now I get to reap the rewards of us not fixing it, and we should have 10 years ago or whatever it was. So it's fine. It's all good. It's just going to be one of those things, and I'm extremely sad about this. This is really, it hurts my soul doing this to this car. But yeah, we'll fix this and get it back together. This is just step one. This is the how bad is it look right now. So I may try to peel this guy back, that inside panel, and put a flashlight up through there and see what it looks like. I feel like I'm skinning a cow or something when I'm like a deer or something like that. When I have to get the silicone out, it's awful. You like have to grab it, and there's some of the tape, the OG tape for the window that's actually holding it in, and then the silicone that we put in when I was in high school is right there. Yeah, that stuff. Isn't that awesome? I'm sorry, car. Okay, so today's probably the last part that you're going to see in this video, because it's the last part of the real cleanup that we're going to be doing on the car. So we went to Harbor Freight and a whole bunch of other little spots to get a whole lot of crap. And one of the things we got was this Central Machinery abrasive blaster. So what it's going to do, I'll have to take it apart or get it out of the box and like set it up and everything. But that is a media blaster that we're going to use inside. And we're going to really try to tape off and focus on getting all the rust out of here. Make sure none of it's going to come back. We're going to like get in under here, make sure that's all cleaned up. Make sure nothing's going to come back out of here. And then this also gives us the ability to really get inside the pillars, get inside little nooks and crannies to make sure we can get all the rust out of the car. And then we can also retouch some of the floor stuff. And also when I was working on getting the roof and everything, we can get all that cleaned up and repainted, which you're not going to see in this video, but we have a bunch of paint stuff that I will show you that you'll probably get to see in the next video. But we got a handy dandy trusty turbo blaster that'll help do kind of like a primer for it. We also got this primer, which it's a rusty metal, use on heavily rusted metal, and it'll help trying to get a good finish on everything. That'll help lay and give a nice base coat for when we actually go to paint. We'll try to work on through that. And I also got this rust dissolver, so this should also help us get some of that crap out of everything. And then of course this will be for when we go to paint. This is the very cheap Harbor Freight paint gun that we're going to use either for this stuff or for the good paint when we go to paint it all. And at this point, I would like to remind you that this is 100% not a 32-point restoration, 1,000-point restoration on the car. Normally, you would go get, you know, a $200-300 paint gun. You would go and get all the nice stuff for when you go to paint it. This is the low-do-go working class guys video of crap. My hot rod has rust. It's an original paint car, or you know, it's a patina car anyway. I don't need the paint to match 100%. It doesn't have to lay 100% perfectly. I just don't want rust in my car. That's what this video is right now. And at some point later down the road, when we go to really go through and paint the car, you're gonna go through all this and redo it all anyway. So what's the really point in trying to focus on and blend to try to match everything perfectly? Because I mean, if you look at the paint on this car, I mean, there's a little spot right there. There's a little spot. There's a bunch of little spots all over it. And you can see this is what the color of the car used to be, and see how faded the car's been since. Not to mention the front of the car, if you actually look at the car in the sun, it has, yeah, you can see it right here. See that different color? That's from when the son of the lady that we bought it from, the original owner, he ran into like a parking lot light or something like that, and it screwed the front end of the car up, so it got fixed at some point, and that was one of the things they fixed, and they blended it back in, and they didn't blend it very well. So this is not going to be perfect, as you can see, and maybe that's the benefit of this car, is you can still drive it. And when I'm old and tired and want a nice car, I'll do that, and then I'll be the old guy with a 100-year-old car at the car show while there's a bunch of 40-year-old Hellcats and stuff like that laying around. So with that, I'm gonna finish getting the interior cleaned up. My parents will be over. Abby will be helping me with trying to get all this stuff set up. I'm gonna get some of my stuff out of the dash. We got to wrap up the dash. We're gonna wrap up all that stuff, get all that sealed up to where nothing will get in over there. We'll do that somehow. I'm not sure exactly how what we're gonna use for that. We were talking about shower curtains or some tarps or something to kind of tape up in there. That way, pretty much from this back, we can mess with and get all blasting, cleaned up, and ready to go again. So it may look like a bomb or an IED, but I promise it isn't. Actually works.
We don't have it in your standard, do we?
Yes.
Do we really?
Here you go. Alright. Am I going to look like a minion or like a CPS guy, or is it the CDA? It's the CDA, huh? From Monsters, Inc.
CDA, is it Child Protection Agency?
You look real cute, honey.
Darth Vader mode activate. Hold on, if you wouldn't mind watching.
You look like one of those guys out of Monsters, Inc.
This is the CDA.
This is the CDA.
If you wouldn't mind watching the...
Yeah, watch the pressure.
Yeah. We had to work on the new bead blaster thing because the regulators were all weird and wrong. I put them on the instructions. This is fogging up.
They do.
I'm scared.
to drive your crap home?
Well, it's been days since you saw us driving the Nova into the shop for the last time till it actually comes out under its own power again, because the battery's out of it now. And this is also because I forgot to make an ending to the video. So thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed watching us do all the bee blasting and prepping for welding and cutting and shaping. Kind of a intro to what we've been doing right here. Here's a little sneak peek because it's looking pretty good. We're almost there. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated on the next couple of parts as we do all the welding and the grinding and the cutting to get everything fixed and back to metal again to where it's all nice and rust free, no holes. Good. And then hopefully I'll probably do the third one will be the actual paint and body work that we'll end up doing. And that one will feature us doing all the paint, all the body work and all that stuff. And hopefully it doesn't look like a big tiger stripe in the back of the car, a big blue tiger stripe. There's would be a shark stripe. What do you call that? It's not orange, obviously. So is it like? Is it a shark? Dolphin stripe? Whale stripe? Comment that below. If you watched this far, comment that below, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.